Hello, everybody in TV land. No, that's not what we should be saying. Hello, everyone. This is Billy V, and I'm coming back to you to speak on the downloads that I got early this morning. I got up around 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. I got all this information. And basically, the information that came in is about perspective. It was all about perspective and how perspective is everything in our lives. It's like one of the main ingredients of our lives. When you're living in the 3D and you're using your mental experience, everything, your program, the matrix, all the experiences you've had, to have perspective gives you an opportunity to step out of the 3D and see it from many, many different points of view. For instance, if you go out to the store and someone rubs you the wrong way, or someone cuts you off and rubs you the wrong way, but we really don't know what's going on the other side. So having perspective is, I get cut off. Instead of me getting upset, I back off and I start to think, well, maybe there's an emergency. Somebody in the other car could, they may have to go to the bathroom. We've all been there. I've seen some people pull over and they were having a stroke and something like that. So we really don't know what's going on. There's a lot of craziness in our society right now. There's a lot of people who don't have respect, and it's all about them. They're in their own egoic minds, and they don't have respect for other people. I mean, that's a lot of that. But the point being is to have the perspective not to engage and get on that frequency with those people. Is to keep a higher thought process of love and compassion in your own mindset, and doing all the things that you need to do to be in that space, so you can use your soul essence, your higher perspective to engage with, so you can recalibrate any energies that come to you in an experience, so you don't go at a lower frequency and then you wind up getting involved with that. Because what happens is, again, the saying is, what you put out is what you get, right? And the new energy is about frequency. How do you keep your frequency at a higher love, compassionate state? And that'll help you co-create a better lifestyle, a better magic in your life, and as you're stepping out into the world, not getting hung up. If something happens and you're in the process of you have a goal, you got to get to a certain place at a certain time, and it doesn't work out, just relax. Text the person, reschedule. Sometimes things happen and they don't work out, so because there's something better and greater in front of you. Sometimes you feel like you've been disrespected and you get all upset, and some people hold on to that throughout the whole day for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and they're in a whole negative state, and then everything starts going bad. So perspective is about trying to lift out of the physical plane and the black and white of things, and the three-dimensional way of seeing things, and seeing more gray, shades of gray. Back when I was a young man, back in the 60s and 70s, everything was, cut and dry, black and white. If you had long hair, they consider you gay. It was really so stupid back in those days, but that's the program, and that's the way people were programmed to think. And what's happening today is that, as you can see with the climate and politics and in the world, all that is, there's a fight going on, because all that old energy wants to hold on to those old ways of thinking, and basically those people are miserable because they're involved with all the negativity and everything that's going on, and that's another side of this perspective issue, is that if you spend time watching TV, I don't care whether news, Fox News or CNN, and you're constantly taking in all that negative stuff, you're going to co-create that. Your frequency is going to be low, and your perspective is going to be low, and then now your program is winning your daily life and how you co-create your life, instead of being in your heart-centered space, connecting with your soul essence, so your guides and angels can help you navigate your life and create magic in your life. And that magic is creativity. I mean, if you're a songwriter, you create songs. If you're an artist, you do art. Whatever your passion is, if you love dogs and you work with dogs and cats and your animals, that's your thing, and that's the way to go, because everybody here on the planet is very special, and we all have our gifts that we have to engage and give to the planet. That's really what our purpose is about. Our purpose is not to be stuck in a 9 to 5 feeling terrible, feeling out of control, living in fear that if you lose your job, what's going to happen with your life. We have to try to engage our higher consciousness so we can get over those feelings. All those feelings has to deal with programming of the matrix and the 3D thinking. We're evolving to a 5D mindset and perspective and how you see it. There's many ways to see it. We have a group of people in the room, 10, 12 people, and we show them an exercise, or someone speaks a poem. They're all going to get something different out of it, because they all see it from a different perspective, from whatever the program they've been programmed with. If they're from another country, they'll see it different. If they're from another state, they'll see it different. If you're in the flow and you're doing things that you love and you're co-creating and magic is happening in your life, you're going to be at a higher frequency. Things are going to start coming a lot more easier, and that's what the new energy is about. Especially now. Today is the 28th of March, I believe it is, and I don't know much about the zodiac, but all I hear is there's an eclipse coming and all this energy is flowing through. I feel it. I feel really weird, but I'm an intuitive and I feel the energy really strongly. There's major stuff going on, and as you can see in the planet, there's earthquakes. There's a lot of things happening, and that's going to continue because, in planet Earth, in schoolroom Earth, challenges is what makes us grow, and sometimes there has to be a major challenge going on so we can wake up and force us out of this cycle of living in this matrix, so we can start looking outside of what we think it is and see a higher perspective, seeing a third perspective, a fourth, a fifth. There's many ways of looking at it, and find what resonates with you in your life, because again, there's not one size fits all. Everybody's different, and each individual has to find what resonates in their own heart and their own mind, and then in that practice of the high frequency, you live in a love state, and what happens is things become a whole lot easier for you. Life becomes easier, but it takes discipline and practice and a mindset and a responsibility, because sometimes when bad things happen to people, they blame society, they blame everything outside themselves, and challenges they don't happen to you, they happen for you. So sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes people have bad accidents, and then eventually they wake up and they become different people because they have to go through some struggle, some major struggle. And I know in my life, early on and throughout my life, I have many struggles, like most people, and everybody's hell is unique for themselves. You can't compare, right? We're all in our own place, and we deal with our own sorrows and pain and depression and all those things, and it's about taking responsibility. Even though in your 3D mind you may think it's not fair, find out, inside yourself. Ask yourself, as you're meditating, as you're praying to God, or whatever you do to the universe, ask yourself inside and wait for the message. You got to clear your mind and wait for the message, and your guides and angels will help you, or God or Jesus or whatever you believe in will give you answers if you do the practice and start working to see for yourself. Sometimes you may have to go talk to somebody. It could be a psychiatrist or counselor or whatever. Sometimes we need to vomit out all this negative and for someone just to listen, not to fix us, so we can see it and accept our way into this process, and then eventually your frequency raises, you live in that higher frequency, and life will become a lot easier and more fulfilling in love. And we definitely need it now, because as you can see, the world is getting really crazy, and it's not going to stop. It's going to get more and more intense. But just because that's happening, we can find our own family, our own way of surviving and living in harmony, and taking back our own power to co-create the lives that we want. We don't need the government. We don't need all this other stuff. That's the old energy. And from what I'm seeing, there's some major collapse in the systems that are coming to fruition. It's going to happen. And by you picking up your vibration, you will co-create and meet people at the same resonance and moving higher. And you'll find, and we're going to start uniting instead of living separate from each other. The perspective is so important on how to navigate a fulfilling life. And really right now, moving forward, the next 2, 3, 5 years, it's going to really get intense. Plugging into your spiritual practice, whatever that is so important. You got to build it like a muscle so it can be there for you as you move along your life. And what I find for myself is really difficult at this point. I used to be able to see what's in front of me because I'm intuitive. It's really hard to see now. I just got to be in the moment every day. And every day I experience these little miracles, right? These little serendipities along the way on a daily basis. I experience. And that's all I ask Spirit is to shed the light along the way so I can find my own way where I need to be in my life and how I'm going to live out the rest of my experience. So I think if you could try these things, take it to heart, find your own way. And if you have any questions, comments, put them below, and I'll get back to you. We can have a dialogue if you like, and because I'm learning too. I haven't arrived. I'm experiencing all these things that everybody out there is experiencing at different level in my own way. But I'm disciplined. I do my practices every day, and I feel that as long as I'm on this planet, every day I try to live it to the fullest, with a kind heart, with compassion and love for everyone that I run into. And whether I say hello or not, or I run into them, I always throw my energy and my love on them, because I know for a fact that even though they may look different than me, or they may not want to say hello to me or be bothered with me, I understand that they're in their own world in this physicality, but I know that we're all connected as soul and part of the universe. We all one in the universe. It's hard to understand in the 3D or the physicality of life, but I really believe that to be true. So again, if you have any comments, I look forward to hearing them in love and light, and we'll see you again next time.